Well, aloha kakahiaka, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Peter Kay, and you are with us today on August 29th, 2025 on the Aloha Friday Hawaii Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. E komo mai. That's the Hawaiian word for welcome. We got some great show for you today. We got some market updates with our friends. We got some really good questions that were submitted, so I'm looking forward to handling those. We're going to also go over some diamonds and deals, some properties that our friends think are worth sharing, and then we're going to close up with some motivational thoughts. But what we got to do first, before we go anywhere else, is we have to warm up. We have to warm up the internet. So I've got our friends here with us today. We are blessed to have Misty Padilla, who is from Hawaii Island, from the Big Island, with a really cool background there. I love the pool. You can't beat the pool and the pool and the coconut trees, man, and or the palm trees. And we have Heidi Dollinger, who is with us from Maui. Welcome both. We are waiting for Ashley, our Oahu compadre, to show up if she does. But in the meanwhile, let's get started. So, Misty, give me the update. What is where are you at? What's it like? How's the weather? What's happening? It's good to see you again. It's been a while, and I'm so glad that you're here. You're substituting for Dylan today, so I'm really glad that you're here, Misty. What's happening, girl?
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Aloha kakahiaka. I am here in the beautiful Kailua Kona, specifically Keauhou area, and it is absolutely beautiful today. Beautiful day in Hawaii. It was storming last night, believe it or not. It was raining like beyond. We rarely get rain, but we do need it. And so this morning is just absolutely beautiful. Sunshine is out, and definitely a day blessed always. So happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
You know, that looks like that's you got the perfect. I know. Obviously, you set this up. You set up perfectly, like you're supposed to, like be like have a corner shot behind you. You know, that's what they say. You did it just right, and you have the pool, blue sky. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank
Thanks. Thanks
you. I was
for being
trying
here.
to
Really
find the
glad.
right angle with, all the elements
You
and
nailed
things
it,
going
man.
on. Very
You nailed
blessed.
it. You nailed it. You nailed it. Heidi, what's going on, man? How's how are you? How's Maui? And what's the coffee today?
I'm doing great. It's a gorgeous day on Maui. I went out this morning, went on my walk, sun is shining, um, drinking some great coffee from the coffee store in Nāpili. It's called Taste of Paradise, which is appropriate. And yeah, just our weather's been fantastic. Just enjoying the day and happy to be here again and see everybody.
That's it, man. It's just as we say, right? Just another day in paradise. We're so blessed. Uh I just come back from I went on this trip to Chicago. My helped my daughter relocate. She relocated from Reno, Nevada to Chicago, Illinois, and so I was there for a few days, and it was great because my family's from there, and so we had a wonderful time. It was great family. We went to a wedding. It was great, but as you all know, there is just nothing better than coming back to Hawaii and saying, "My right, Misty." It's like, my God, right? It is like such a winner to be back, and it's so feels so great, so
Indeed.
blessed, right? There is just
In
nothing
Vegas,
like it, man.
last week I was in Vegas. My daughter gave birth and I just returned home. I was gone for 2 weeks. So yes,
Oh,
indeed.
congratulations,
Yeah.
congratulations,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
So you went to Vegas? I'm sorry, I interrupted. You're in Vegas, and
Not at all. Yes, I did. Actually, that's where Dylan is right now, competing, right? He's in Vegas right now, so he couldn't be present with us today. So shout out to Dylan, giving you all the good energy and good vibes today. But yes, I was in Vegas. That's where my daughter resides. And we had our first baby, our first grandchild in the family. And I just got back home a few days ago. So very grateful to be back.
wow, congratulations, man. You are a grandma. How cool is
I
that? How cool
am.
is that? How cool is
I got
that?
promoted.
Man, oh man, oh man. Good for you. God bless.
Thank
My
you.
wife and I are still waiting for our first grandchild one of these days, and God willing, but good for you. Congratulations. That is awesome.
Mahalo.
That is fantastic. All right, let's move on. I'm gonna cover some news over here. I put some stories together that to kind of do a couple things, maybe some topics, and we'll see how it all goes, and some things that are I think somewhat relevant. actually, it kind of worked out perfectly today. So I got some things to cover. So Maui vacation rentals lawsuit. So is this interesting, Heidi? I'd like to get your take on this. So there's threats now that they're talking about owners are mulling there's about 70 condo complexes where the vacation rentals may become illegal, and the owners are and watching and waiting and threatening with some lawsuits. So that's going to be quite interesting to see how that controversy comes up. Another one is the other story here that I caught that was interesting. It's kind of a low news week. But anyway, I try to pull another one here. Futures low-paying jobs. What they're saying is a new report saying that job increases are expected in areas such as food prep, transportation, and healthcare support, all lower-paying work, which is a bummer. So if you're looking for a job in Hawaii, you're going to have to figure one out that is in the higher-paying realms, like real estate, I suppose, if you're as successful as our friends are over here. But just a kind of a word to the wise. More geothermal energy. Puna Geothermal Venture is moving forward with a long-awaited upgrade. Misty, I'd like to get your take on that. Puna Geothermal. So on the Big Island, somewhat near the volcano, there has been a geothermal energy generation a company operating there for decades. Remember, we lived on the Big Island. We were right nearby. And there's a lot of controversy, both positive and negative. Geothermal on one hand is some seeing as the future of energy production around the world. And so it'll be interesting to kind of get your take on this one, what you think of it, Misty. AI puts lawyer on trial. So this is kind of funny. I'm the technical guy, right? So there's a story about a lawyer who was using AI to do his case. And AI has this capability. It's called, it's not delusional. It's, I forgot. AI will make stuff up. If you ask it for things that it doesn't know, sometimes it will make stuff up, and called delusions. And so this lawyer apparently asked AI for like assistance, and AI made up a court case. That lawyer used that reference to that court case in his legal proceedings, and the judge was not happy about that, told him, don't you ever do that again. And then finally, mail-in ballots in trouble. There's going to be some interesting controversy on mail-in ballots. Apparently, there's something going. So Hawaii has all mail, is an all mail-in ballot state. Everyone gets a ballot via the mail, and that's how we typically vote. You can also show up at. If you look at the videos for the state, it's highly discouraged. You can if you want, but they don't want you to, because the lines are long and it's bad. But there's some controversy. First of all, there's some federal part from the president. He's kind of against it, and there apparently is some stuff going on Kauai where they're not sure if the 2024 election was done correctly with mail-in ballots. So we'll see about the future of that. So anyway, with that all said, let's get back to our friends over here. And Ashley has joined us. Welcome, Ashley. Good to see you. Great and good. You're making it just in time. So let's do this. Let's switch and do some market updates. I want to get some updates from all of our friends on kind of what's happening. Why don't we start, Misty, with you? Give us the Big Island market update. Tell us what's happening, what you're seeing. Give us the update, the summary. How would you, if you had someone who was looking at buying real estate and they asked you, what's the market like on the Big Island? How would you respond, Misty?
Good morning, Ashley. Nice to see you, girl. Welcome. It feels like it's been so long. Here on Hawaii Island, again, just so blessed to be here. And as we go through all of these things, we're going to navigate through each of the islands, and you'll get to see how unique each island truly is. I'm very blessed to be here on Hawaii Island my entire life. And right now, just going over the market in comparison, I have the July update. If you can see that on the grid there, thank you. For single family homes, 2024, we were at 274 for new listings, and then 2025, we're at 247. So you can see the difference there. As far as the sold listings go, you can see in 2024, it was 185, and now we're down to 162. So again, change that is definitely occurring throughout all the islands. Average days on the market right now, you're looking at about 71 days, and then the median sales price, 530. As you see compared to the other islands, you're going to notice that Hawaii Island is definitely considered much more affordable compared to Maui and Kauai. And again, just very blessed to be here. If you look at condominiums compared to the new listings in 2024, we were at 91. And now at 2025, we're down to 70. And same for sold listings, 2024 in condos, 53 and 24, and then down to 42 and 25. So again, not too much significant change, but you definitely see the decline there. And then as far as land goes, we have an abundance of land here on Hawaii Island. If you look at 2024, we were at 240 in new listings, and then now 25 down to 223. And then of course the sold listings, 24, 160, and then 2025, 137. So you definitely see the shift. I'm sure all the other islands are seeing that as well. And Peter, you know, our best advice for everyone is there is a perfect place for everyone, and it just really has to fit the shoe perfect for you and your family. You know, whatever the numbers speak is where you need to be. If you can afford to be in certain areas of the island, by all means, so be it. But if your price point is within a certain range, you know, we're happy to help navigate to find, you know, where is going to be best fit for you and your family. So we're here to assist. Hope that helps. And yes, very blessed to be here on Hawaii Island.
We are certainly blessed to be here. Thanks. Thank you for that, Misty. So, Misty, if I, you know, how would you, if I was to, you know, I'm the regular consumer or person who's looking for a home, and how would you characterize? Give me like a one-liner. I mean, those are all the numbers. I get the numbers. How would you characterize a one-liner? What's the market like on the Big Island right now? How would you say it?
One-liner. You know, I'm
yeah, one-liner.
I can't just do one line.
Oh, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough.
You know, the beautiful thing, I'll always take it for what Dylan says is, people are always going to say that the market, we can't listen to the outside noise. You know, everyone's going to say, oh, it's a down market. It's so bad. Don't buy now. You know, interest this, interest that, you know, and we just can't listen to all those noises. It's definitely a tough market, but at the same time, we're going to embrace that. The tough times will allow us to sharpen our skills on the realtor end, but at the same time, this will allow our buyers to be better prepared, if that makes any sense. So I can't sum it up all in one line that, you know, we are definitely here. We are embracing the challenging times, but at the same time, we got to use that to the advantage and just count it all joy and take these trying and challenging times, use that as a stepping stone for your betterment. And this will be your time to be able to connect with the right people and be able to put you in position, although others are seeing it as a tough market. Again, just use it to your advantage and be in a better position. I hope that helps. So that was not a one-liner.
That's all right. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Well, here, so in that sense, then, understand that some people are saying it's a tough market, and you're doing a beyond phenomenal job of staying where you need to be, which is in the right state of mind.
Right.
What would be some like so what would be like for a buyer? What would be maybe an opportunity in this tough market, or what would be something that a buyer would have to look out for? Either one or both. What would you tell the buyer where, you know, if we look at things, you know, I'm a buyer, what should I look out for? Or either way, what should I look out for in terms of, hey, where's there maybe a deal, or where's there maybe you have to kind of exercise caution? How would you answer that?
Very good question. So again, connect with the right people. Thank you for livinginhawaii.com. Of course, we want to be your trusted local experts. And yes, during these tough times, this is where you want to take advantage, because everyone else, if you listen to the noise around you, everyone else around you, they're waiting. Everyone's waiting for prices to drop, for interest to drop. So this is where you have to take advantage of this time. While everyone's waiting, you're going to make moves. And that's where we love to see the joy in all of it, is we're able to help these buyers be positioned and prepared while everyone's waiting, you know, team up with the right people and help us make your move for your betterment. While you're waiting for everyone else, they're going to wish that they were able to buy at this time as well. Heidi, I'm sure you can agree with me to that point as well, as everyone's just kind of waiting. They're all waiting for the rates to drop. Listings are sitting on the market for quite some time. Everyone's just kind of waiting for who's going to move the next pawn. And again, looking 10 years later from now, they're all going to wish they made moves back in 2025, just as we did in 2018 and 2020, right?
Interesting. So the thing is that is the move. People are waiting, and really now's the time, because if you wait until whatever you think is going to happen and everyone jumps in, it's kind of almost too late. So now is the time.
You
Excellent.
figure you're going to bring more buyers to the table, right? Once that interest rates drop and once, prices start to drop as well, think of how many more people are going to be at the table competing, so it is. You got to choose your hard.
Yep, that's what it is. I want to give a quick shout out first before we continue to Michael Lotto, who's joined us. Michael, welcome back, buddy. Good to see you. Michael Lotto is a consistent audience member of the Living in Hawaii Greater Ohana. So great to see you, Michael. Welcome back from San Diego. And hey, if you just joined us, give us a shout out. Let us know where you're from. It's always fun to say hi to everybody who's joining us. So please do that. All right, let's move on and let's get to the Maui market update. Heidi, give us you heard from Misty, who's kind of saying, look, this is, there's opportunities here because there's a lot of people waiting. Sellers may be more apt to sell. You heard me mention that one article about the potential lawsuit that people are thinking about, because again, this short-term, a vacation rental issue of being made illegal or not illegal for certain areas is kind of still up in the air. What's going on, Heidi, with the Maui market? How do you see it? What's happening?
Yeah, what I looked at as far as market stats was just, we're at August 29th, 2025, and I was just comparing to our stats from last month and trying to see if anything's changing. We've had a lower number of actual closed sales, and it seems like August is right on track to be similar to the number of sales that we saw in July. So far, and we're not quite to the end of the month, we've had 51 condos sell on Maui, and these ranged in price from $110,000 to $12.9 million. So it's quite a range. But the median of what has sold so far this month, 650,000, was the stats I was pulling last night. And keep in mind, we're not completely at the end of the month, but this gives us an idea of where we are. And then 56 homes have sold so far this month, a median of 1,262, which is right in line. The median price of a single family home on Maui has really been around 1.3 for a while. That seems to be pretty stable. And the range of homes that have sold have been anywhere from 365,000 to 13.4 million. So, I mean, there's quite a range of real estate on Maui. Now, I totally agree with everything that Misty was saying. I would just frame it a little bit different. I think it's not a tough market for buyers. It's actually a good market for buyers. Buyers have more choice, more opportunity, more negotiating power. The only thing that's tough about it is the mindset, because I think that people are, there's uncertainty and people are waiting and thinking, is this a good time? But I mean, is it really a better time when you have 10 offers and you're competing against 10 other people? Or is it a better time when you come in and can negotiate your own deal? So, I mean, just to reiterate what Misty was saying, it's so important to work with a seasoned professional who's very grounded and aware of what's going on in this current market. You don't want to work with an agent who they last sold a home in 2022, because that was a totally different market, different way of looking at comps, different way of thinking about things. So, you want to work with the great buyer's agent, and then, just think about what your goals and time frame are, and, be aware of all the unique local factors in the market that we have today. But it's fun. I mean, meanwhile, people that live here are out enjoying the beach, living life, having a great time. So if that's a place where you see yourself, I would encourage you not to give up and still go for your dreams.
That's it, man. That's it, man. Go for the dreams. Go for the dreams. Well, this is interesting. So, again, this is kind of an interesting consensus here on kind of what's going on. And Ashley's back with us. So, Ashley, give us the okay. So far, while you were away, I know you have some technical issues, so don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about it. What's coming out so far is that Misty kind of brought on that, hey, there's some interesting kind of challenges in this market. And Heidi kind of added on saying yes, and there are opportunities for buyers because of the instability, because of the uncertainty. And so if you're with somebody who knows what they're doing, someone who's been around for a long time, a seasoned professional who knows the market, you might be in a position to find kind of like the right deals, which I think is like the right way to hit it. So Ashley, why don't you give us your Oahu market update? But before we do that, I want to say hello to the Queen of Dreams. What a great name, the Queen of Dreams. That is the coolest. I want to be the king of dreams. If you're the queen of dreams, actually, aloha, everyone. Welcome, Queen of Dreams. Terrific. Actually, give us the update. How do you see the Oahu market? What's some specifics? What are some? And I was asking Misty a targeted question, which is, hey, should a buyer be thinking about right now? So put that one in the back of your head, Ashley. Give us the update and what's going on.
Good morning. Sorry. Losing power multiple times for some reason. And so I don't have any of my stuff up right now. So I jotted down what little bits that I could pull together in 2 minutes. So I apologize for the lack of visual. Misty, that visual was so nice. From now on, we need to throw that up there because that just makes
Misty's setting the standard, man. Misty's like, she's setting it up. She's throwing down the gauntlet. You guys gonna have to kind of get with it.
I know, with that, all the aloha and the facts there. So in short, we don't have our August statistics out, but we're seeing a slower August than we have probably in the past. So just to recap, our July and coming into August sales compared to last year for single family homes is the actual median sales price is down about 3.6% on the actual sales price. But sellers are still getting over 90%, 98% of their asking price. But that just means that we are seeing price reductions, and that is the 98% or higher of the asking price, whatever that has been reduced down to. Condos are pretty on par. It's at about 3% lower than it was same time last year. And when we're comparing the days on market, which is an important market indicator because it shows how much demand there is, for condos, we see today a 49-day average versus 29 days last year. And for single families, 20 days versus 16 days last year. What I thought was interesting, and I'm looking down because I had to make these notes here, the amount of month supply for condos is staggering. The actual chart for month supplies has gone up consistently from 2002. So I'm just going to show you this and let me know if you can see it. But this is a visual on my phone for condos of how much months supply has gone up since 2022.
Okay, we can see that.
So this is for single family homes, the amount of months supply that has gone up. Also, just a staggering up chart since 2022. The amount of showings per listings for condos. So this means how much are we getting engagement on the showings that we have. This is for single family homes, has been consistently declining since 2022. So this is 2025, 2022. So what we're seeing here is that there's less people inquiring to look at the homes that we have listed. This is for condos to compare. It's averaging 0. For perspective of what that means for the market, condos, as we've been discussing for a long time on this show, just take a bit longer. They're slower, and we do have a lot less inquiries on condos in general. It seems like everything's pretty quiet, and then all of a sudden the right person at the right time just happens to come. So more than ever before, if you're a seller, your agent has to be marketing. They have to be a marketing master because squeaky wheel gets the grease. The more exposure that your listing gets, the more likely you're going to catch the one fish that's swimming through the sea.
So okay, so this is great. So by the way, okay, that's another. Actually, it's kind of it's interesting to bring these to bring your phone forward and kind of show the thing, etc. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool way to do it, and it's easy. So there you go. That's another way to do the graph. So okay, so those graphs, and I don't know if those are the same sort of slope and style on the other islands. I would think that there's a general trend, perhaps. I don't think it's an Oahu specific trend, but we don't know. But those graphs were like, they looked pretty dramatic. There was like a drop off the cliff, right? It was a drop off the cliff. So, and you mentioned correctly that if you're selling, you want to be with a marketing whiz of an agent who's going to get your property a lot of exposure. 100% true. Tell me, Ashley, what's the opportunity for a buyer? What if you here, Ashley, if you were a buyer, and it's not an investment property, it's a whole other animal. So you're looking to buy a condo or a house to live in. What advice would you give to a buyer who's looking to buy a condo or house to live in? What would you tell them?
Right now, there's a lot of opportunity to get creative with how you want to acquire the home. So what is it for? How long do you want to be there? Right now, there is definitely opportunity for sellers. Like, for example, we're seeing a lot more assumables for VA loans where veterans are willing to let not veterans assume their entitlement. What that means is normally when a veteran is selling their property and they have a 2.5% interest rate, when they allow another veteran to assume that, then that first veteran gets their entire entitlement back. Now we're seeing more veterans saying, even if you're not also a VA buyer, I will still let you assume my loan because I want to sell it for the highest price possible. And they just understand that they are not going to get that entitlement back for the foreseeable future. That's one example. I have a listing right now. I'm getting prepped to come on market with that exact scenario. And they have a 2.5% interest rate. So you see opportunities like that. So we always try to keep our eye out for people who need something that's maybe more creative where they can get more house for that lower interest rate. The second thing that I advise is get something where you can get credits to buy down your interest rates, not temporarily, not just for 2 years, because there's this narrative that we're going to be able to refinance here really soon. And I think that that's a great, hopeful concept and thought process, but I recommend take this opportunity to get credits from your seller to buy down your interest rate permanently, not the 2-for-1 or the temporary buy down, because we don't know what's to come. Condos are an insane opportunity right now. They're not going anywhere. Condos there'll always be a need for it. And I think there'll be a time where they will come back full force. They've always been a softer market than single family homes. Single family homes, historically speaking, on Oahu every decade have appreciated about 200,000 since the 1960s, ignoring the whole COVID boom because that's an anomaly, while condos only appreciated maybe about 40,000 in the same time period. So condos have always been a softer because there's less value adds that you can do to them. But there is times in history where people just prefer that simpler lifestyle. It can be more cost effective. Right now, we're just seeing that 20, 30, 40-year mark where these buildings are getting older, so the assessments are getting higher, and there's so much unknowns in insurances, but that'll level out. So buy up your condos, especially if you're just trying to get your foot in the door. I think that it could be a good investment.
Excellent. I want to kind of hit this theme a little bit more because I think it's insightful. Misty, I'm going to go back to you. If you had a buyer who wanted to buy a condo or a home to live in, what would your advice be kind of from the Big Island side? What would you tell them?
Just as Ashley just said, for those that are finding, the longevity of condos, how they're coming up on their 20, 30-year assessments are elevating. That's exactly true here on Hawaii Island, particularly on the Kona side, is, everyone wants that condo with short-term vacation rental opportunities. And yes, we have all of that available, but at the same time, they come with such a high price because they are priced right along Ali'i Drive, which is oceanfront. So again, if the numbers work for you, and if you can, go ahead and play with the numbers and afford all of the HOA fees, on top of the cost of the condo, on top of the the elevated insurance, then yes, by all means, go for it. But at the same time, we also do have single family homes. If you do get a single family home along the same Ali'i Drive, you're already looking in the $1 million range. In order to get a single family home that's under 800,000, you'll definitely have to move location. Again, location, right? But yes, just as Ashley said, with the HOAs, insurance, all the things that adds up, again, the numbers just have to work well for you. But yes, opportunities are available.
Heidi, is there anything that, thanks, Misty. Heidi, is there anything you want to add to this conversation that hasn't been covered?
I think you ladies have done a great job. I mean, we did experience a big jump in fees and insurance the last couple years. I mean, we're seeing that on Maui level out. Some HOAs are actually lowering their fees now as the insurance things are getting figured out. So, we're just in this very transitional time. And just to kind of reiterate the same theme, I mean, that brings opportunities for buyers in this market. And on Maui, there's still uncertainty surrounding vacation rentals and apartment zoned areas that is yet to be decided. Peter mentioned earlier in the show lawsuits, like if something's passed, there's going to be lawsuits for years. So there's probably, there could very well be years of uncertainty surrounding that on Maui. And because of this issue, we've seen buyers who are second homeowners come in and get prices at significant discounts that they would have never been able to get anywhere, over the last several years. So, it's a really interesting market. It's not a market where you just, go run out and buy anything, but it's worth a look and worth working with a good professional and identifying, what your specific goals are.
That is, it's kind of funny. It's some people may think it's sort of a blatant self-promotion. Say, make sure you work with an experienced realtor. I happen to be an experienced realtor, so work with me. But the truth of the matter is, it does make a difference. It really, really does make a difference because it's not just, buying real. I think I mentioned this before a long time ago. We're kind of lulled into this false sense of security that buying a home is like shopping on Amazon, and you could just do a search and scroll through and click and kind of buy, so to speak. But you really need to have someone, especially in today's market, which is it looks like it's complicated. There's a lot of stuff going on. You got, there's issues on Maui with the vacation rentals. There's issues on both Hawaii Island and Oahu with the HOA fees and the insurance things and the market dynamics, et cetera, et cetera. You really need to work with someone who knows what they're doing, who's been around the block a bunch of times, who can guide you through and help you find something that's going to work for you. So that is well said. All right.
Let's Peter, real fast, just to add to it though, like make sure you ask, if you're a buyer out there and you're looking to get into the market, talk to the realtor and have them ask these sellers if they are willing to do something creative, because it's not promoted always and it's not always advertised. They might be open to it, but they don't necessarily want it. But if it's sitting there, ask. For example, 2 years ago, there was no negotiating. There was no getting a credit, really. There was no, if it's the asking price and then some. And right now, like I have a high-end listing where my seller's willing to just say, hey, take over, let's do subject to, just take over the mortgage, cover the bridge, and then just take it and run with the existing, product. I have another seller right now is like, I'll do seller financing. I'll do it for 3 years. I'll do it for 1 year, however long until you can qualify for a loan. Because if you have 2 years of paying a mortgage or paying, into the property, you can qualify for it easier. I have, another one that's willing to let a non-veteran assume his VA at 2.5%. These are scenarios that aren't necessarily out and marketed on the listing per se. These are going to be, in-person conversations when they call. So make sure you.
So here's the interesting. Yeah, I mean, but here's okay. I get to play. I'm lucky here because I'm not a realtor. You all are. I'm not. I'm the dumb buyer, right? right? So Ashley, my response to you is, I don't even know to ask that question. I don't even know to ask the agent to get asked, I don't even know enough to tell the agent, hey, ask the seller if they'll do a blah, 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 all that stuff you just said, which kind of flew all right over my head and made my eyes go back into my sockets. I don't know how to ask all that. So I would think it's like, in a sense, then you really want to make sure that when you start to talk with an agent, you want to find out how long that agent has been doing stuff and what kind of creative deals that agent has gone through. And that's the one you want to work with, right? Because I don't know enough to ask. I don't know what I don't know. So anyway, interesting. Okay, let's move on because time is flying, and we got some stuff that we want to cover. So first here, I'm going to do this. Hey, how did you find out about us? Did you get, if you got here through the newsletter, you're good. In other words, if you got an email from livinginhawaii.com that said, hey, the show's going to be on Friday, great. If not, go to livinginhawaii.com. Make sure you sign up. A box will pop up. You put your email address in. Of course, you can unsubscribe. You get access to the show. We send notifications. There is amazing amounts of content. Misty is doing Misty does a show on the other Fridays. You get those shows. You get all that great stuff. So make sure you are a part of that. All right. This is an Ask Us Anything show. So if you've got any questions at all that you want to ask, not just about real estate, it could be about anything Hawaii related. I suppose you could ask about anything. We'll just see how it goes. But please go ahead and send that. We do have a couple of questions that I did want to cover from some folks. So let's hit this first one. So this is from Susie Q, who is a regular. And Sue, I was hoping that you're here, but you're not. But that's okay. We're going to hit it anyway. So Sue says, hey, look, if our home closes escrow before we find a property to purchase in Hawaii, she's selling. They have a home in California. They're selling it. So if it closes escrow before we find the property in Hawaii, how difficult will it be to find a rental in Hawaii with cats? I think the cats is the key. While we continue our search, would it be wiser to stay on the mainland until we buy? And or how could you assist us, recommend someone or whatever, in securing a rental on Hawaii Island while we continue searching? So Sue's got this interesting issue that all movers have. How do you bridge the gap? She's got a house, they're selling it. Doesn't look like they're going to find the Big Island house before they sell the California house. They've got cats. Where do they go? Do they stay there and rent somewhere else in California and wait? Or should they come on over and start looking? And if they do, where to do the rental for the cats? This is a Big Island question. So Misty, how would you answer? Why don't you start this off? How would you answer Sue?
Aloha, Sue. So in answering your question is yes, connect with one of your trusted local experts. And all you have to do is ask around. The rental market is definitely tough here, especially for us local people. However, when you throw in the factors of pets, children, whether or not you need ADA compliant, all these other factors play a big, vital role in your search. So again, connect with your local expert. Let us do the work for you and find what's going to be best fit for you. And just ask, just like Ashley says, you don't know until you know. Ask all these questions. A lot of people do prohibit, pets in most areas, but then they also do have pets that are allowable, especially if they're service animals. So again, that just takes us to a whole nother level. Again, connect with us and we are happy to put our best foot forward to assist you.
Excellent. Hey, by the way, thankfully, Queen of Dreams just revealed that she is Susie Q. So this is great. So I'm totally stoked. So Queen of Dreams, we are her. So Sue, while you're here, ask some questions live. Throw them in the chat as well. And that's kind of that. Ashley, Heidi. We'll do Heidi first, and then Ashley. Heidi, how would you respond if this was in Maui? It's the same kind of a thing in a different story. What's your take? How would you address Sue's question?
Well, I think selling before you buy can, in some cases, be really great because you have your equity. It puts you in a position to be ready to buy and make a move when the moment's right for you. And actually renting for a year can be a really good way to make sure that you like living in your new location, make sure you identify the right neighborhood or part of the island where you want to live and put down roots. So I definitely support that. It is a bit more difficult with pets. Especially like a lot of condos on Maui just don't allow pets. But our rental market today it's a little bit softer. There's probably more opportunities to find a rental where you could have cats than say a couple years ago. So I would say it's doable.
Definitely doable. And I think, and I echo the idea of, it's good that you sold the house, you've got equity, you're ready to go. You can move at a moment's notice. And renting, because, you know, uh, I've heard this, I'm sure you all have heard this many, many times. I've heard it many times, is that, you think you want to live in area X. And so you move to area X, and then you realize that area X isn't a place where you really want to live. You'd rather go to area Y. And you don't figure that out until you've been there for months, And then you realize that, oh man, whatever. You realize that, oh my God, traffic is horrible and I can't get to the Costco. It takes me 2 hours to get to the Costco from where I'm at, or whatever, right? The roosters in the neighborhood are unbearable, right? You'd never know that by just kind of driving by and clicking through on Zillow. Ashley, what would you like to add to what we've said so far with advice to Sue?
Just possibly prepared to pay a little more, maybe possibly a pet deposit if it's not a service animal. And then if you're looking for resources, independent agents, there is not necessarily the same, what we call an MLS, which is a multiple listing service. When we're doing sales, you are required when you're with the board to upload those into the MLS. That standard does not apply with rentals. So it is not as streamlined with those. So a resource that I like to recommend for longer term rentals is hotpads.com, because many of us don't necessarily service rentals personally. I think, I don't know, Heidi, do you? I think
I don't handle any rentals. If somebody contacts me about rentals, I send them several local property management companies that have rental listings, and I just have people reach out directly to them or look on hotpads.com. I mean, you're not going to hire a realtor to go around and help you find a rental. I mean, we can provide inside advice, but it's not like being in a big city where you go and have a realtor and, they show you rentals.
So yeah, exactly. For those who are looking at rentals, it's not like when you are buying real estate where a realtor has a compensation set amount that they necessarily negotiate or have a predetermined amount that all parties know. When it comes to rentals, really the property manager is who's getting compensated for that to market and solicit the rental to the buyer or tenants directly. Sometimes they may offer compensation to an agent who brings them a tenant, but it's not super common. So that's why it's a very independent process for tenants. So I would check out that. And if you're looking for 30 days, which now on Oahu will be 90 days, you can do the short-term vacation rental sites that everyone knows and uses.
Awesome. Well, Sue, appreciates that. All great points. Thank you, Sue. If you have any follow-ups, make sure you ask those follow-up questions. All right. You know what? Let's do I do have another question, but I don't think we're going to have time for it. So why don't we do this? Let's hit let's get those properties features, those diamonds and deals that I know that we're all kind of hot to trot and want to show. So why don't we do that? Let's start with this first ones, which is the Keauhou View Estates. Misty, this has got to be yours. What are we looking at? Fill us in.
Aloha, thank you. So yes, this home is actually presented by First Island Realty, but this is right next to my home. So I wanted to go ahead and feature this home. For one, we want to bring a great neighbor who wants to come and be my
man, I want to be Misty's neighbor. How cool is that?
And so yes, this is in Keauhou View Estates. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. 1,400 square feet, and it is listed at 1.250. I wanted to do a quick plug just with what Ashley had said about getting creative and asking. So long story made short, for my home is the home that we are in escrow on. It was on the market for over a year. And lo and behold, I just asked the seller, like, hey, by any chance, can we work with you? Can you let us pay your mortgage and give us some time to clean up on paper? And they said yes. So we got creative. We worked together. They pulled the house off the market, and we are in escrow for this home. It allowed my family time to get creative and clean up. At the same time, it assisted the sellers with getting their mortgage paid. And then now the house next to us is for sale. So yeah, we're looking for a great neighbor. Please feel free to reach out to us. This is definitely a deal and a diamond all at the same time. So all in one, beautiful location, and we're very happy to assist for any further questions.
That property looks beautiful. I mean, the landscaping looks pretty amazing, and it's got the pool and the whole bit. So that's so. Which house is yours? Is yours the one above, like at the picture?
It's actually in front, so you can't see. So we are on the below it. So not the one in the back, the one in the front.
So I would think if someone's going to move next, you'd also would like to have a family who's willing to babysit your granddaughter. I would think.
No, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Grandson, but no, definitely. We actually, a lot of people ask my family to babysit because we have a family, of 10 kids. I have actually 7 boys that live in my house. I am the only female. So many reach out to me saying, hey, can your kids babysit and do all these things? We just want a nice, loving family that's going to be our neighbors and that can embrace our chaos.
Wait a minute. I need to. I think there was like a problem with the technology or the video or the sound. I thought I heard you say you had 7. There's 8 people in your house, 1 female, and that's you. 7 men. Okay, that's got to be fun. That's got to be fun.
Count it all joy.
That has got to be fun. Oh my God. Okay.
You see, I have broken nails as a result of that. No, just kidding.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I can't even come close to that. I've had to live in a house with 3 other women, but that's not 7 other men. That's not 7 men. That is not even close, man. Not even close. All right. Thank you, Misty. Thank you for that. That's awesome. God bless. Heidi, what are we looking at over here in Nāpili, Maui?
So this is actually, it's funny. This is very similar to Misty's listing, about the same size home. And it's also pretty much in my neighborhood. My house is not right next door, but this is in my current neighborhood. I went and looked at this house the other day, and the views are just incredible. The remodel is incredible. It's definitely a diamond. And this is in Nāpili, Maui, listed at 135.
The views, I'm still kind of taking in the views. I mean, it's a beautiful remodeling job. First of all, it's nice and it just completely up to date, which is so awesome. But I'm seeing the ocean view there.
I mean, you can't even really see, like, the pictures don't do the view justice. When you walk into the kitchen, it's basically like this corner of windows, and one side you're looking out over the gulch and looking at all those trees, and then the other side is the ocean, and the elevation of the land drops down because there's a gulch there. So there's just nobody in front of you. So it's really cool.
That is really cool. I'd say really cool is quite an understatement. I'd say it's extraordinarily cool. It's awesome, fantastic. And speaking of extraordinarily cool and fantastic, Rich P is with us. Hey, Rich from Minnesota. Good to see you, buddy. There's some kind of a technical difficulty going on right now. Apparently, I just realized I didn't see this until now that our Facebook feed is disconnected, so we're only getting YouTube feed. So I know that some of you folks have gone, crawled over broken glass to get here and see us on YouTube. So I'm really happy about that. So thanks, Rich P, for making it from Minnesota. Good to see you again. All right, very, very cool. Okay. Let's see, what do we got? Let's see this one over here. Ashley, this is yours. I did a refresh, Ashley, so I hope this is correct. What are we looking at, Ashley?
I just want to give shout out to Misty's strong feminine energy holding up in that house. Love it.
Oh man, you're not kidding,
I
man.
Need it. I need it all.
Can we do a reality? There's got to be there's a reality show
in there.
Man.
I know, right? There has to be. Something's got to give for all of this work,
She is tough as nails, sitting here with her drip and wearing her flowers. But she can hang.
You know, well, okay. So around that subject, since we're going to open that up a little bit, here's what I want to see, because I know this is there. So you see Misty, she's beautiful, she's so kind, she's so nice, she's so Miss Aloha. You know, the Hawaiian auntie. She's a grandmother, and you know, man, you know when she goes into that house, she is whipping those guys around and beating the crap out of them. And I just want to watch. That's what I want to see, man. I just want to see, you know, Misty with the claws Misty going into it.
Well, the funny
That's what I
part,
want.
it's twofold, right? So yes, we do own a boxing gym. Yes, we do have a ring that, of course, the kids it's usually my 12-year-old and my 9-year-old that will test me, you know, because now they're towering over me. You know, I only have one child that's shorter than me. The rest are all taller than me. And it's my 12-year-old that's like, Mom, I'm taller than you. But literally, as of yesterday, I still tell him, I don't care how tall you are, I could still kick your butt and I'm still your boss. You know?
Missy, you're not even that short.
No, they're taller than me. I'm like, holy moly. But yes, we do have a ring at our gym. I have a family full of fighters. They all do MMA and boxing and jitsu and all the things. So
so it's not just 7 guys. It's not just 7. This is okay.
There's my testosterone men.
Okay, Misty, there is a reality show here. There is a reality show here. Man, are you kidding me? A house full of 7 MMA fighters? Jesus.
So just know, folks, for anyone who's interested in that house, not only are you going to have beautiful neighbors, but no one is going to mess with you. That is a very protected street.
Absolutely right. No one will mess.
Yeah. And a free bonus at that. Holy moly. Misty, get the camera crews in there, man. That's a reality show. I know it. I know it.
Oh,
All right. Back to reality here. Ashley, what do we got over here? Show us. So tell us what we're looking at here.
Okay, so we have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. This is just under 1,000 square feet. It's double wall construction with central AC, which is not super common for non-new builds here on the islands. And downstairs, this is actually on tax records as a additional covered area that's not enclosed, which obviously is the same square footage as upstairs. It's remodeled inside except for the kitchen cabinets, and it's just got the most stunning views. You have the Waianae mountain range in the back, which also has the view of the highest mountain peak on Oahu. You're right across the beach from multiple coves, your walking distance to the local high school, and surf spots and fishing and snorkeling. It's a really nice location. They're asking $699. There's flexibility there. It's fully fenced, landscaped. I'd say this is the deal.
You know, I was just going to say, you know, how many times do we ever have a property where the Oahu one is like almost like half the cost, almost half the cost of the Big Island property, which is shocking. And of course the Maui property, that's not too often.
You don't have protectors don't come with this one though. Just a really picturesque.
No house with MMA fighters next door. Oh, no. Damn. That is so funny. That is the funniest thing of all. All right, good. Hey, folks, we are coming to the closing part of the show. We're kind of bringing in. If you've crawled over broken glass to get here today, I appreciate it. If you've got some questions, pop it in the comments now so we can handle it. We are going to move on. I think it's time to kind of start to roll this up. We got some closing thoughts that we enjoy sharing with everybody. Let's bring the closing thoughts. And if you got some ones that you want to share, we would love to hear it. But Heidi, why don't you get us started and tell us what yours is and how is it meaningful to you?
Design a life you love so you don't have to escape from it. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, just fill your life with doing things that you love, being around people you love, and so you're enjoying every day. And it's not just about waiting for that next vacation. It's about actually living your life.
Well said. You know, you gotta make every day count, Heidi. You gotta make every day count and make it. I like that. Design a life you love so you don't have to escape from it. Thank you, Heidi. Excellent. I love this part of the show. It's really, really fun. I'm glad that we're doing after all these years. Ashley, what's yours?
In lieu of Labor Day, I wanted to play off of that. Some people want it to happen. Some wish it would happen. Others make it happen. I think that we can achieve most things that we put our mind to, but it takes a lot of work. And we can't do that without, the wonderful laborers that we have in this world. And I am so grateful for everyone's part that they play.
It's fun when you mention that. Looking at your quote, I remember I was a long time ago. A customer of mine said something. She said, there are people that can make things happen, and you want to be with people that can make things happen. This is actually a very, very true statement. You guys, just the nature of your industry, and where you're at, all three of you. You are folks that make things happen, because if you cannot be a realtor for any amount of time, if you can't make things happen, mean make listings happen, make close sales, get new listings, help people buy, etc. You're making things happen. So you folks are in that make things happen. But there are a bunch of people that want it or wish for it, and there's a difference. You got to make it. You got to make it happen, and we all have that capability. So thank you, Ashley, for reminding us about that great thing. All right, Misty, let's hear yours. I love it.
Awesome. So mine is, before you ask God for anything, first thank him for everything. And that's just always being in that state of gratitude, no matter what circumstances are, just always coming from a great place of gratitude. And again, before asking for anything, always give thanks, and just do that every day. Like I say all the time, it's aloha living everywhere you go. Always be grateful.
Have you trademarked that? You if you haven't, you need to trademark that.
I will look into that. Thank you.
You should trademark that. Aloha living everywhere you go. You absolutely should trademark that. And have the 7 MMA fighters behind you. I got the photo, right? It's like get the 7 MMA fighters behind you. That'd be like the perfect thing. But no, you should consider the trademarking it. That is a nice statement of where you go. And yes, thanking God. That is great. There's more than one study that have mentioned. I'm sure you've all seen these or you've heard of it. That gratitude is like one of the most important traits that leads to mental health and well-being, is a sense of gratitude about everything, developing a sense of gratitude. And that's kind of what we're really saying up here. Excellent. Great. All right. And of course, I'm going to close up with my favorite book, the one I read every single day, Proverbs 13:20. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. And that, in more modern terms, that's to tell you, watch who you hang out with.
Yep.
Another way, right? Another way I've heard this said is, you will be the average of the 5 closest people you are with. You will be the average of the 5 closest people that you are with. Make sure you are with make sure you hang out with great people. And if you're not with great people, change that. Make that happen. Hang out with great people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Amen to that, right? Yeah, exactly. All right. I think, what? Let's just close it. It's been a great show. We've had a great time. We are going to be rolling this one up. It was great to Misty. Is so fun to have you with. Dylan's awesome, but Dylan's awesome. He's awesome, and we love Dylan. But it sure is fun to have Misty, because she's always got like some cool stuff going on. She's a grandma. She just became a grandma, and she's dealing with 7 MMA fighters in her house and beating the crap out of them on top of it. Which is
actually, to be exact, because one is my dad. He doesn't do the MMA, but we do have another son that will potentially maybe get into fighting in the near future.
It's great. It is glorious. All right, let's go around. Let's go counterclockwise. First Ashley, then Heidi, and then Misty. Say goodbye.
Have a great long weekend, everyone. Happy Labor Day. Aloha.
Aloha, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Aloha, everyone. Be blessed in all you do.
Indeed, be blessed with all you do. And thank God for this. Thank God for this show. Thank God for seeing all of you. And thank God for Labor Day, which we are all going to enjoy. Have a fabulous weekend.
Yes,
Aloha, everyone. Have a great time. Take care, everybody. Aloha.